Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there on members area. Hope you're well. Well, Wednesday morning, another day in it, another day, another fucking bed bath in it, or whatever they call it. I think I'm ready for going stir crazy in this house at the moment. Jesus. There's a lot been going on lately, people jostling for position. I want to speak about the Conor Benn situation. Because Eddie Hearn's come out and said, well, technically he's not going to be fighting for a world title for another 18 months to a year. So they've got Chris Algieri next, who, in Eddie Hearn's words, can't knock the skin off a rice pudding. His words, a couple of years ago, that one. So we've got Chris Algieri, a non-puncher, against Conor Benn, a cherry picker. So we've got the non-puncher against the cherry picker. What do I think about that? Well, I think Conor Benn is a gimmick, like Chris Eubank Jr., like Corey Spinks, like Marvis Fraser, all of them, Ali Ben, a lot of them. I think they're all gimmicks. I think the dads, to say they've made loads of dough, should be embarrassed putting the kids through a career like that. It's just something that you won't do, innit, if you had that kind of money. But Campbell Hatton's another one in that bracket, gimmick bracket. That's what it is, gimmicks. And I feel that this is not the way boxing should be moving forward. We've got gimmicks and offspring of dads whose careers have been long gone, and I mean long gone, and they're nowhere near as good as the dads, but they're getting opportunities more than everybody else who's further forward than them and technically better. And some people are selling a lot more tickets than them, but they're not getting the dates. And I think, when's it going to end? When? Is there somebody above boxing who watches over it all and says, you know what? Let's just let him get on with it. Bit like this with Dave Caldwell coming out, innit? He's come out only after 10 weeks and tried to do a couple of interviews and that and test the water. But the damage is already done in my eyes. People have come on my channel, they've said what they've said, and it's up to Caldwell to reply. He hasn't replied. He's chose to stay out of the way. But now that it's suited him, he's decided to come back out and say something. But I'm not even interested in it all now, because Sky Sports have shown the true colours, aren't they? Giving a man access to be a pundit who were accused of what he was accused of. Would that happen in football? No. Would it happen in cricket? No. Would it happen in snooker? Not on your Nelly. So why do we allow it to happen in boxing? But then again, why do we allow mandatory rematches in boxing? What's the point working your way up to be #1 mandatory if you've got to fight the champion twice? It defeats it, doesn't it? What's all this about giving people 4-year drug bans for one drug test? And yet other people have got 3 drug test issues and they get a 2-year ban. We can go on forever and ever and ever, can't we? Bad judging, bad scoring, terrible refereeing, B samples going missing. And now, to top it all off, we've got Dave Caldwell allowed back on Sky Sports. So Sky Sports, well done. Well done, letting somebody back on Sky Sports without him putting everything to bed that we asked of him. That's what you're up against. So I did my bit. I let the lads have the platform, so I don't really see point in pushing on with it now. Do you know what I mean? But we've done our bit. We've said our bit on members area and in videos. And that's it. Boxing's not going to help itself, is it? But getting back to the dads, offspring of dads, I don't see any of these winning a world title. Does Chris Eubank beat Golovkin now? Does Ben beat Errol Spence or Crawford? No. Does Campbell Hatton win a British? We haven't got a prayer. No. Does Ali Ben win a British? Not got a prayer. So what's point in it all? Why don't they just put the money into kids that are coming through or who've turned over and let them have some limelight instead of giving all limelight to famous kids or famous dads? That's just my opinion. People are asking me what I think to the Galahad show. I think it's shit. I think if anything, you've got Eddie Hearn unwinding his boxing career now. It's coming to end now, and it's just going to be a case of getting as much money in as they can now. It's coming to end. You can bet your bottom dollar it is. Eddie wouldn't put shows on like this a few years ago. He'd just be embarrassed. But if anything, him not having all these platforms to get to push on with DAZN's a good thing, because we haven't had him on telly that much, have we? And nobody's really known what Eddie's been up to, have they? Because he hasn't had Sky. But I don't think his shows have been any better than Dennis Hobson's, to be honest. And that's saying something, isn't it? Because Dennis's shows have been scraping the barrel, haven't they? I mean, come on. But this Galahad show, Galahad Martinez, man, that's the dog with fleas, isn't it? Then you've got Terry Harper with somebody dug up. You know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But how does Kiko Martinez get a world title shot? That's what I want to know. So, but fights I do want to see. I want to see Lee Wood. I want to see Lee Wood against Galahad. Lee Wood was trained by Ingalls, so a bit of a falling out there when they went, wasn't there? So that might be a good fight. I met Galahad a favourite in that fight because he don't come to engage, he comes to bore the pants off people, doesn't he? And it's not what we want to see. Galahad's running around saying he's got a multi-fight deal and with DAZN. Well, we're going to see after this show at Sheffield, aren't we? Because if they don't do loads of tickets and it's a stink bomber, you know, he could be sent to Coventry like Eddie sends everybody else. So we're going to see, aren't we? We're going to see what's appetizing. But people asking me what I think to Shannon Courtney losing a belt on scales. I don't really care. She were number 9 in world fighting number 8 once she were number 8 fighting number 9 for a vacant belt. So how is it a vacant belt? What about numbers 1 to 7? How can number 8 and 9 fight for a vacant belt? Jean Pascal and Carl Froch, they were the top 2 guys at WBC. Froch number 1, Pascal number 2. They fought for Calzaghe's belt because Calzaghe vacated. So Shannon Courtney and Evelyn Bridges were number 8 and number 9. So it's hardly 2 best fighting for a belt in it. So I didn't really get behind that belt anyway. I called it a paper belt. But it is what it is, isn't it? What do I think of Big Dosafemi? I think Big Dosafemi has got a few things going on inside his head regarding soaking up knowledge. I mean, if I were his trainer, Robert McCracken, I'd kick his CUNT all the way around Watford, going around gyms around Wealdon, picking people's brains and saying it's up to my training team to get on with each other and all that. Hit the road, Jack. with your chicken wings and chips. Hit the road, mate. Eat your bargain bucket and piss off. All right. Do you know what I mean? Mission accomplished for McCracken. But Joshua needs to look at himself. Do you mind saying I'm told to perform in one style and I take orders and this and that? You got soundly beaten. When you get soundly beaten like that, what happens is you should take it on chin and move on. So all you've got to do, kid, take it on chin and move on. All right. So I think that's about it, really. We'll get a couple of videos out on members today. Another 4 months, is it? Another 4 months, I'll be on that plane to Turkey. So I'm not really bothered, but I want to thank everybody for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment and joining members area and rejoining members area. We've had a lot of people rejoin. So you'll get your videos that you owed from last month, this month, and what you owed from this month. So we like to do it by the book. But nobody is forcing any of you to be a member. I've not got my arm up your back or a gun to your head. Not forcing any of you to be members on Porky's Corner or to subscribe to the main channel. Nobody's forcing you. Right. You watch it because I tell it straight. That's why you watch this channel. So, all right. But peace out, keep on trucking, keep sporting boxing. Don't have nightmares.